Welcome back to the channel, racerX here, and today I'm going to share a little bit of information with you about some stuff that Stellantis sent me about a week ago. Unfortunately, I couldn't put it out until today at 10 o'clock. That's when the information embargo was lifted, so to speak. But it's about what they're going to be showing us at Sema. Now, Sema starts 10 a.m. tomorrow, and it kind of goes into the weekend. And if you've never been to the Sema show, it's an amazing show to go to. All of the different vehicle manufacturers have really cool stuff to show you there. And there are two different vehicles that Stellantis is going to be showing that I feel like are pertinent if you are a performance guy. And we'll talk about both of them today. One is called the Dude. It is a Sublime truck. This is not the first time we have seen the Dude. We actually saw it back in 1970 to 71. They made less than 2,000 of these Dude trucks. They were kind of a high performance street truck with a 383 in it. Very, very cool. Well, the Dude is back. It is a concept truck. It is at Sema, and I will talk a little bit about why I feel like that is important. And more importantly, they're showing us a Moparized Six Pack Charger, and there are some implications to this vehicle, and today we will talk all about it. If you guys are brand new to my channel, please do me a big gigantic favor. Hit the subscribe button. You can find it over here. And off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Now, if you are one of those folks that is going to be attending the Sema show in Las Vegas, make sure you take just a couple of minutes and stop by the Stellantis area, because you will see both of the vehicles I'm going to be referring to today on display there. You can see them for yourself, and there are a lot of little subtle cues that I feel like are important that will end up bleeding over into the production vehicles in the coming year to year and a half. And the first one I want to talk about is this Moparized Six Pack Charger. And this thing is kind of important because if you pay very close attention, it's wider than a Daytona or the six-pack car that has yet to hit the dealerships. Now, I'm actually going to be going and doing some testing on the six-pack Charger here in the next couple of weeks. I can't tell you a lot more about it, but I'm hoping that those cars will actually start hitting the dealerships here maybe by the end of the year. That is my hope. I really look forward to driving this thing and kind of giving you guys my impressions, so that is coming. And the vehicle that they're showing us at Sema, yes, it is a high output Hurricane that is in that. They did that on purpose because I know the V8 isn't quite ready. I'm not going to tell you a lot about how I know this, but I know it's not quite ready. Also, from talking to the engineers and multiple people that know the car well, the Hurricane engine, even though it is a fairly big engine for something that's 3 liters in displacement, it is relatively narrow but very, very tall, right? Just from a geometry perspective, it's dual overhead cam. I mean, there are a lot of things you're kind of fighting. So this way, it's pretty big, but it's pretty narrow. Now the Hemi, not so much. The Hemi is actually pretty wide, as you would expect with a V8. And it sits very high in the cradle, so to speak, in this new car, which means they had to put a high-rise hood on it to make a Hemi, especially a Hemi with a supercharger sitting on it, fit in there. So it got a high-rise hood. Now, if you look at what they're showing us at Sema, not only does it have a high-rise hood, it's got carbon fiber in the front, so it's got a carbon fiber splitter on the front. It has a carbon fiber spoiler on the back, but it also has some panels on the side that are wider. Now look at the center of it, and you will see 3 lights. Now with the Daytona and the six-pack, that body, it is as wide as you can possibly make a car to within like a 1/16 of an inch or something, before they have to consider it like a super wide body car like a TRX is, and put the 3 lights in the middle and put markers out on the side and all that kind of stuff. This car, if you look closely, it has that. It's got 3 lights in the middle. It also has markers on the side, like where the mirrors are. And they've done multiple things. So I believe this one is actually even wider than the other one, which is wild because the six-pack and the Daytona are really big cars. But this one, I believe, is even wider and bigger. Fully expect this thing to have bigger wheels on it. And not only, so it's kind of a twofold thing. So they're not only showing us basically what this new Hellcat body is going to look like, but they're also teasing some of these direct connection parts that you can order on your six-pack. So I feel like it's a twofold thing. Leave it to these guys to be smart about the way that they do it. But a lot of these performance things are going to be available to order from direct connection, or you can order it directly on your vehicle. For example, in late 2025, right around when this vehicle is going to be hitting, you can buy the six-pack strobe stripe packages for $500. They have a couple of different options there. And also the performance catback exhaust for the high output charger, the 6-pack. You can order that. It's a $4,000 option, but it should wake that exhaust up quite a bit. A lot of people have said, look, that 6-pack is kind of cool from a power perspective, but it is way too quiet. Well, this might be an opportunity to kind of fix that. As I mentioned, I work with one of these companies that I know worked pretty hard on this exhaust, and I fully expect it to be awesome. So we'll just kind of wait and see on that, but you can roll it in if you're going to buy the vehicle. You can add those things right to it, and then it should show up with it on there. Also in Q1, the carbon fiber front splitter and rear deck spoiler, you can get those. They're $2,500 a piece. This carbon fiber stuff is not cheap, but they are available. Also, the Mopar cold air intake, you can buy that aftermarket, $900. I believe you can probably spec it with it on there as well. That remains to be seen because you can't actually spec a 6-pack yet on Dodge's website. So we'll kind of see how all that works, but expect that in Q1. And also in Q1, they're going to release a suspension spring kit for $325. That's low. It's going to lower the car by about an inch. That actually will look really good for $325. I mean, that might be worth doing because I feel like it will change the stance a little bit. And also the big one, the carbon fiber high-rise hood, which I think looks amazing, is $7,000 if you want to buy it through direct connection. It is 20% lighter. It has functional air scoops in the front. It really does have kind of those nostrils that look a lot like the 2023 Hellcats. And I'm a big fan of the way that this new stance is with the, it's a wider stance. It looks more gnarly with the way the hood is with the high rise in it. I think it actually really makes the vehicle look pretty mean. I wish I could see it in person. But I would expect that this new Hellcat, the V8 variant that they will release in another year to a year and a half, it's still a ways out, guys. And it is taking them a while to get it done. But I think it's going to look really, really cool. But it will not be a carbon fiber hood, I think, that comes standard on that vehicle. They don't want to charge people $7,000 for a hood when they're trying to drive prices down and get more people in the door to buy, right? But I do really like the way that this Moparized 6-pack Charger looks. The other vehicle that I want to talk about just briefly is the Dude. Yes, it is back. It has been a really long time since we have seen the Dude, and it's in Sublime. It is a street truck. It does have a 5.7 naturally aspirated Hemi, but it kind of has a performance Mopar cold air intake on the top, which I think looks really good. It's sitting on 22s. It's got a lower stance on it, and overall, I think this thing looks really good. It is actually a 1500 Bighorn that they converted to be the Dude, but they put some really nice cat skin seats in there, and they did a lot of really nice upgrades to this truck. There's probably a lot of little subtle stuff on this truck that will bleed over to a production vehicle. Obviously, the hood has more of like a TRX style to it. And I would fully expect that when we get the new TRX, whenever that happens to be, probably at least a year out, that it will have a hood that looks basically identical to what they're showing us on the Dude. Now, I don't know if the Dude itself will actually be another production vehicle that Ram does. I know obviously with this partnership with Fox, where they're already doing a street truck in the full size 1500, if it makes sense to do the Dude, but leave it to the guys at Stellantis to always show you just a little bit of stuff that will be going into future production vehicles. They don't do this stuff by accident, guys. They show us this stuff on purpose. So I really wish I was there to kind of look inside this truck, in and out. There's probably a lot of other little subtle cues about this Dude truck that I would feel like probably are going to bleed over into something that actually, gets to the production line. But we're just going to have to wait and see. So I don't want to talk a whole lot about the truck. I think it is very cool. It's worth mentioning. And if you are a street truck person, maybe you hope they do come out with something similar to this. The Fox truck that Direct Connection partnered on, it's a $90,000 plus truck. So it's not exactly cheap. I think a lot of people were kind of hoping they may have something in the 50 to 60 range. That's also a street truck. We'll see. Now, I don't know if they're also going to show us their small truck at SEMA. I already knew they weren't going to show us the V8 Charger. That was something I'd already had discussions with multiple people. A lot of people sort of hypothesized that they would see a V8 Charger at SEMA. I already knew that was not going to happen. But the body, like I said, the body, I think that's what we're going to see. And then it's just a matter of throwing the V8 in the thing. Anyway, guys, pretty short and pretty sweet today. What do you guys think about them making the new Charger even wider? That thing, I don't even know how you're going to park it, to be honest with you, but it might look really, really good in person. As I mentioned, I wish I was there to see it in person, sit in it, kind of get a real feel for the dimensions of the thing. I don't believe it's any longer, but obviously from a width perspective, did they have to go wider on this thing? There may have been a good reason why, and I just don't quite understand. Or maybe it's just a stance thing. I can't imagine how big the wheels on this new variant are going to be. I would imagine they're going to be at least like 345s or something, maybe bigger, sticking out of the back of that thing. Maybe Viper-sized tires. We'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the Moparized six-pack. At least it's a six-pack right now. And also the Dude. And let me hear it in the comments, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, racerX.